and the Books by Samantha Coons. We are back to reading the first 9 lives of Squeaky the Bookstore Cat. We're not reading your book right now. So, the bright car lights faded as the humans pulled out of the parking lot. I stood watching them go at the glass door. Anika was running around in the big room trying to knock treats down from shelves. I would try this as well, but not until morning. At that moment I just sat and watched and waited. After not such a long time, I left the door and walked into the dark aisles. The books talked to me. Perhaps it was not talking the way the humans talk to each other. The books murmured to me, it's true, but they also drifted into me. I could feel them. I could feel their stories. Only in the dark, though, and only at night. They would draw into themselves in the daylight. Ooh, yes. When there are people and noises everywhere, and the lights burn down onto the aisles. The ghosts do that too, but they just hide in the basement, and of course they just talk like regular humans. That evening I went to my favorite spot, the craft section in the back room. A lot of sections are noisy and cold, and the creeping feeling will run down your spine, but the craft section is different. It is soft like yarn and warm, and sounds like women murmuring slowly to each other while steel and wood click together. Nearby, history is sharp and talks in long groaning sentences, while self-help smiles and chitters, but both are far enough that it becomes a background to my warm nest. Most nights I went to crafts to sleep. I liked being around people, even if those people were books, and the ghosts were mostly in the back room anyway. Sometimes the lady ghost would sit next to me and pat my head while I dozed. I never asked if she could feel the books like I could. The next morning I stretched and yawned. The books were quieter, which meant the sun was coming up, so I went out to check on Anika and see if she managed to pull the treats off of the counter. She hadn't, and she wasn't very happy about it. There was a mess of other things on the ground, a stapler, a bunch of slippery papers that I didn't slip on at all, and a few other less interesting bits. She was curled up on the counter and swatted at me as soon as I got near her. I pranced away and slid over the counter to the treat bag that was nestled in a cubby. I crouched and pounced, pulling down the treats and a few folded up shirts that were being stored in plastic bags. I landed gracefully enough and looked at Anika. She flicked her tail at me and leaped off the other side of the counter. I didn't give it much thought. I knew that if I got the bag open, she would be back eventually to get her share. I started jumping on the bag with my claws to open it. As everyone knows, that is the only way to open a bag. So that's good. We'll come back then.